Hello and welcome to the 3 signals that your child has become the target of bullying and what to do to extinguish the spark of bullying before it becomes a fire. Welcome, my name is Dion Ricardo. I'm a parent just like you, and I've also been a martial arts instructor for the last 25 years. And I've helped countless families with bullying issues. And over these years, I've collected tactics and strategies that have been proven to work every time. And I want to share those with you. So let's get started. First things first. Here's why your child may not tell you that they are being bullied. First, they simply just don't realize what's going on. They may be naive. They may be a little younger, and they just don't realize that they're being bullied. It's painful to admit that I'm being targeted. Sometimes children will not tell their parents that they're being bullied because it's painful for them to even admit that. They're also afraid sometimes that the parents will actually escalate the problem if they get involved. And finally, there's also a fear that the parents will be disappointed that the child is being bullied. So they won't come to you out of that fear as well. In short, we can't assume that our kids would tell us when they are being targeted. Now, on to the signals. The first one is bully in code. The first thing is that we have to explain to our child the difference between snitching and reporting. In order for us to really understand and see the signals in our child, we have to be able to ask our child questions and then feel freedom to be able to talk about that and know the difference between snitching on somebody and reporting the facts of what happened. Once you've established that with your child, now we're ready to look out for words like drama or messing around. So if your kids come home and they said there was a lot of drama at school, or there's a lot of kids messing around or playing around, that's a code word for dig just a little bit deeper and find out more details about what they mean around these words. And as I said before, we want to make sure that we ask detailed questions to get more details out of them. Our kids will talk. We just have to spend enough time drilling down without sounding like we're interrogating to get them to actually talk with us about it. Okay, our next signal is coming home from school late. You could see things like missing the bus, taking longer routes, walking home, rushing to the bathroom when they finally do get home, maybe possibly because they were afraid to go to the bathroom during the day. Again, ask detailed questions and investigate if you see any of these signals or if your child is starting to come home late from school. Just a little hint before I move on to the next slide. What I found as a parent myself is that during the week, the child sometimes has a very difficult time talking about what they're experiencing at school because they're so involved at school that by the time they come home they're kind of tired and it's very hard for them to mentally recall things. But what I have found is that if you observe behavior during the week and you strive to make communication and asking questions the focus of the weekend, it seems like you're going to get your best answers on the weekend when they're relaxed and they've had a chance to process what's going on during the week. But the week time for the parent is the time to really observe their behavior in three different areas. Number one, before they go to school. Number two, when they come home from school. And number three, when they're going to bed. Now, it doesn't mean that you have to be there to observe all 3 times because sometimes parents just can't do that. But if you're there for at least one of those periods to be able to observe your child for a little while, it will give you a very, very good indication of their present state. Let's go on to the next one. The next signal is behavior. If you see your child having a pattern of blaming themselves, if someone, if they drop something and they just overly blame themselves, or if they're just picking up the blame for for their siblings' mistakes all the time, if they're saying low and degrading things about themselves, it's definitely a signal something's wrong. Also, you'll see that they have a lack of motivation to try new things. You can almost remember when your child was a little bit younger, they were almost like into everything. They just want to do new things all the time. As they get older, naturally they start lacking more and more motivation to try new things. But when kids are being bullied, you will see a sharp, drastic drop in their motivation to go ahead and try new things. It's mostly because they're lacking confidence. You also see change in sleeping, eating, and grades, and that's three areas to really kind of keep your eye on. Again, it's kind of like the litmus test to see what's really going on when your child's at school. Also, if they start to say that they don't feel good often before school, that may be a good indicator that something is going on. And then also another one is if they start to become a bully and start bullying their siblings around the house. It may be that they're mocking the behavior of the bullies at school that they're dealing with. Other easy steps to take. As I said before, we want to watch your child's anxiety level as they get ready for school, as they come home. When you further ask questions when seeing some of these signals, okay? So again, let me just stop here and say, the moment if you see your child, run to the bathroom, and stay in there for, a half an hour right when they get home from school, it may not mean nothing the first time, but if you start seeing any patterns of these signals that I mentioned earlier, that would be a definite indicator to dig a little bit deeper, ask questions, look for body languages in your child, and emphasize your continued support. I'm always with you, son. I'm always with you, daughter. I'm in your corner 100%, and you're not going to get in trouble, by just letting me know and answering these questions. Here's some more action for parents. Okay, once you've kind of realized that there may be something going on, a really, really good tip is maybe to talk to some of your child's friends or to their parents of your child's friends to either confirm or gather more info about occurrences of targeting. So, in other words, if you see some signals, you talk to your child, you get some details. If they mention that one of their friends were there, it may be a good idea to talk to that friend or their parents and get more info about that specific occurrence. You really, really want to zero in on where the bullying is taking place. Once you've kind of realized the difference, you've seen the signals, you've taken action, got more information, now you want to zero in on when the bullying is actually taking place and where. At that time, you want to set up meeting with authority figures to discuss these incidents and action plans to stop further incidents. There's one more very, very important thing. You can take all the actions and see all the signals, but oftentimes you're not going to be there when your child is being targeted. Here's the most powerful way to deal with bullies. Are you ready? Teach your kids how not to be a victim. Don't know what to train them on? Most parents don't. That's why we created a special anti-bullying training workshop for your child specifically. And for a limited time, it's 100% free. Okay, in this Bully Safe workshop, we're going to be covering with your child how to fight fire with water, what the difference is between joking and bullying. We're also going to cover the difference between harmless play and harmful harassment. We'll also be covering how not to become an easy target. This is crucial. And also how to use easy verbal tactics to de-escalate a bully's action. We're going to be showing them a little bit of verbal judo. Also covered is the rules of engagement. Now, this is a key and important aspect to handling a bully and to giving the empowerment to your child to know when and when not to defend themselves, to know when and when not to take any kind of physical action to keep themselves safe. And once a child is empowered with that understanding, now they're confident to either take action or not take action because they know the rules of engagement. Another aspect that we cover that's hugely important is the responsibility to not become a bully. In other words, if we can teach as many kids why bullying is not the right thing to do, then maybe we can stop some of these bullies before they take action on our children. So let's stop it before it even gets started. Our Bully Safe workshop is 100% free. There's no strings attached. We are on a mission and a quest to empower children so that they don't have to experience the fears and the long-term effects of bullying. Whether you join our schools and take classes at our martial arts studios, it makes no difference. We want you to bring your child, their siblings to this workshop so that they can have the tools and be empowered and understand how to deal with this bully epidemic that we're facing. So here's what to do. Read below to reserve your child's spot in our Bully Safe workshops now. If you look down below, you will see a form that you can fill out and reserve your spot now. Thank you so much for watching. Talk to you soon. Oh, and I forgot to mention, if you have any questions on bullying whatsoever, go ahead and fill out the form below, and one of my instructors will be giving you a call and answering any of your questions. We'll be happy to help you in this topic of bullying.